Hello, good evening, and everyone, you're very welcome to the Lily White Lounge. Seems not that long ago we were talking about the season that was 2024 and how bad everything was. It seems in a short few weeks it's a massive turnaround. There's an air of optimism around Oriel Park. We have a new manager in place, we have some new players coming in. We've avoided Scarp, and it looks like we're going to be in a good position, hopefully, going into the new season. So I suppose nearly having a little bit of a preview of the season coming ahead, it's great to be able to sit and chat to somebody who was here last year for everything. So please welcome Aodh Dervin. Hey, sorry to bring you back to last year again, but I suppose just from your time here at Dundalk Football Club, how have you found the club? How have you found the supporters?
Yeah, I loved it. Obviously the things that went on behind the scenes. To be fair, last year, training wise and football wise, it was so professional coming up. I really enjoyed it. I felt like I couldn't leave because of everything that went on, and I felt like I wanted to be part of the rebuild. I spoke to Peter, I spoke to the owner, and I spoke to the gaffer, and the plans I just wanted to be a part of. I think if I left now, I would never forgive myself.
I think, you've come in, you've a massive pedigree in League of Ireland for your age. You've played, people would have known you coming in as a player at Dundalk, but obviously at Longford over the years as well, in Galway. Have you, in all the years you're playing, have you ever known a season, although a short one for yourself, have you ever known a season like that in your career in League of Ireland? Just put you on the spot.
No, I haven't, to be honest. When I first came in, I loved it. Again, everything was so professional. Proper football club. You walk around Dundalk, scarves, jackets, everything. Like, it's unbelievable. I've never been in a town where I had that. Like, I was at Galway and it was like, Gal's a big thing up there. Dublin, there's a lot of clubs up there. So, just the support is the thing that stood out to me the most. People just live and breathe it. Did I have a season like it? No. I forgot it was a short season. But no, look, I think, in fairness to the people around that did all the work behind the scenes, the fact that there was a club, I remember standing outside there, that 5 o'clock deadline, we didn't even know if we were training the next day. So look, everything that's gone on in the off season, the people that were there, they have to be thanked for it.
Yeah, and obviously, like you've touched on it already, but how hard was it to concentrate on the football when everything was going on off the pitch, like with the wages and if you're going to be around and things like that?
Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Obviously, you're thinking about it, you're worrying, are you going to play football? We obviously were that close to it. We didn't know if we could have if we had another game. But at the end of the day, you can't make excuses. We didn't win the game since I came in. So, as much as it is, there was a freedom as well that we actually got to play football. I think it was Sligo we had. You actually had a weight off your shoulders. We had football till the end of the season at least. Obviously it's not ideal what was going on off the pitch, but I think last year, individually, collectively, everything, I think we didn't step up to the plate enough. And I actually still can't wrap my head around why, because the way we trained, the way we prepared, everything like that, I just think it was just a freak year really. I'm delighted to see the back of it and kick on now, thank God.
We're all glad to see the back of it too. Just a quick question, because you talk about this being a real Dundalk, being a real football town. The reaction from the fans, in particular in the last few games, like it's kind of hard to comprehend that we were getting relegated there. Like, it seemed like there was a unity between the fans and the players, and do you think that was because of everything that happened? The deadline was here, Maxie's unfortunate passing. Do you think all that just kind of galvanised the players and the fans together by the end of the season?
Yeah, look, the amount of things that went on throughout the year, I think when that deadline came, I think the fans, the players, I think everybody was just happy that there was a club. The good or bad times, you still want to be able to go to a game on a Friday night, no matter what the way the results are going, no matter what anything's happening off the pitch. So it was the first time that I've been at a club where I nearly felt emotional going onto the pitch even before a game. Like the pyro or whatever it was really good, and you just take a step back and you notice it, and that's where you really see how much the club means to people. And I think we need to replicate that on the pitch. We've the best job that we can go onto the pitch and win football games, but you're the ones that are behind us. So there's a credit to you, and hopefully this year we can turn it around again.
Now, I'm going to ask this question to you because I'm afraid to ask it to Ken or Kieran. How much are you looking forward, and I don't mean to be tongue in cheek, but how much are you looking forward to getting that first win as a Dundalk player?
I told you not to ask that one.
I shouldn't have even fucking brought it up, to be honest with you. Obviously. Look, it's a monkey on my back. It's just being back. That's what I was looking forward to the most. Look, we can't look ahead too much. Being back, you can ask the manager. I'm 24/7. I'm nearly too much with it. But that's of course what I'm thinking of. Winning football matches. You want to get back to that. You want to get. This club is built on winning football matches, and we have a really good chance as players now to get this club back where it belongs, and we can make a name for ourselves at this club now.
Yeah, and obviously it's early in it's not even pre-season yet. You haven't come back in, and the squad's not even been assembled properly yet. But what's your aspirations for the season personally and for the team itself as well?
Obviously, you don't want to look too far ahead. I think as a town and as a club, I don't think you're hiding when you say we want to be promoted. The club belongs in the Premier Division, but again, you need to just look at game by game. I was listening to a podcast, and it was just game by game. All the top people, it's just they never get too far ahead. So it's easy saying, "Oh, I want to be promoted. I want to be this and that," but to be promoted just in a football game. So that starts at the first game of the season, whatever that is.
You mentioned everything coming last year, and you wanted to make sure you re-signed for the club, and you're one of the first, I suppose, to put pen to paper on that. What sort of a role are you expecting to be playing? Are you expecting to take a kind of real senior feel to this squad for next year?
I'll let the big man answer those questions. You can tell something for him.
He said, yeah.
Yeah. Look, I have to back it up as well. It's all well and good giving that role, but if you don't back it up, it'd be taken away from you straight away. Obviously.
I gave the boys captaincy before I knew we didn't win a game. Keep it for now.
Everybody stop saying that. I haven't won a game yet, please.
Speaking of winning games, obviously, everybody. The reason why there's a massive crowd in this room is because we are, without doubt, the biggest club in the country. Even though it is first division next season, even though it is, it's not what we want to be, but it's where we are, and we have to get out of it. And players like yourself are going to be key to it. But on the flip side of that, are we the team that everybody wants to beat now next year?
Yeah, look, it's Dundalk. Like when I was coming into the league and I was going to the Longford games and stuff, you're coming to Dundalk, and it was the team to be, it was the place to be, and I still think it is that. Obviously, it's a bad year, but you look at all the clubs that had bad years. Shells, whoever else. Look where they are now. That's where we want to get back. That's as a club in general and as players, and we need to really push that on this year. Obviously, in the first division, from the history and everything else, I think we are the biggest club. So if teams look at it like that, so be it. If they want to beat us, they have to come here and beat us. But we'll make it as hard as possible to make sure that people don't get it easy here.
And just to touch on the couple of new signings that's come in, what do you make of them so far, and have they got you excited about the squad Ciarán's building so far?
Yeah, look, we were in today. They look very sharp. They look hungry, and I think that's what has to be built on. In training, you can see they want it. You can see they want it by being around the place. They've all settled in well, albeit it's the first day, but nobody stood out in a bad way. They've all stood out in a positive way, and they know what it means to be here. I think that's the main thing. I think every player that comes in, all of us need to know what it is and how much it means to people and how much it should mean to us as well.
Do you feel now, as being one of those senior players in the squad, that that's part of your role? Just instilling what this club means to this community, that history behind it. It's not like playing for any other club, if you know what I mean. You've talked about the pressure and what it's like going around town and everyone's in jerseys. I mean, these boys are going to be stopped every 5 minutes and asked what's going on up above.
Yeah, of course. I think it comes from us as players. The manager's there to oversee it and everything else, but we're the ones on the pitch at the end of the day, Burnsy always says it, that we're the ones on the pitch. They can just tell it, they can just instruct us, but we have to do what we need to do to win games, and if we don't, I don't think you'll be playing them. Simple as that.
We're nearly kind of done. I suppose you've probably seen the new jerseys that come out. I don't know if it's something that players look into that much, but what's your thoughts on the jerseys for the coming season?
Yeah, I have seen them. Yeah, they're lovely.
Clearly you don't look into it that much then.
No, but look, it's the jersey's jersey. They change every year, but it's about the club as a whole. It's about the crest. That's what I mean. You can have a new jersey every year, but the crest never changes. So we have to make sure that we're up to that. And if we're not up to it, we'll be found out fairly quick.
I think it's safe to say I didn't know too much about you before tonight, but I think you've got the rally of everybody in this room now. And if you keep and instill those sort of values that you're talking about here tonight into the squad for next year, I think we're all pretty certain that we're in for an excellent season ahead. Thank you so much for your time, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause for Aodh Dervin. Ken, yeah, come on ahead. Please welcome Ken Kiernan. Ken, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, I assume, since you've come in. How have you found your time here at the club so far?
It's been full on from as soon as I accepted the role with Ciarán. Looking at a lot of Y-scale, trying to educate myself on the players that were coming in. Knocking down to Harry the day after they didn't make the Premier Division, scouting. It's been just full on, absolutely full on. And then just trying to get a sense of. I already knew, my assistant manager in Bowes last year played for Dundalk, Alan Murphy, so he played under Jim Cannon, I think.
Yes.
I think it was around 2005 season. So, I listened to the podcast. I listened to all the podcasts around. Really, really good. Really, by the way, it's an excellent podcast. But like Dave said, it's a proper football club in a proper town, and it just, as soon as you drive in, you can feel it. I've coached here many a time with underage teams, and I've travelled as a fan, as a supporter to the club, and it's on another level, really. So.
Yeah, you've obviously linked up with Ciarán at Athlone, so how would you describe your working relationship with Ciarán, I suppose is the best way to put it?
Is it a husband and wife thing, or?
Did you ever see that film Step Brothers? It's a bit like that. But no, look, he's a winner. You know, you've seen that yourselves. I've learned so much from him. And we bounce off each other. We're very similar, but we still bring differences together to the team and to everything we've done. And we both want to learn, and we both want to get better, and we both want to be around people that want to improve. So you listen to Aodh there. What I loved about that was like the accountability. You know, like he understands that it should have been better, but like from the fans, from the players, you could see you could see the effort. Like you said, it's just a freak season. But I love the accountability. I love the fact that he wants to make it better, and he wants to be here and drive standards for the younger players and the players around him. And he will be a leader in the group.
So obviously before you've been involved with coaching at youth level, you've been obviously with Kieran at loan. But then what piqued my interest is that because both of you have come from the women's national league, something that my background in coaching is as well. How was your time? Can you explain a bit of time at Bowes at the women's national level, and even compare to something like the jump up to, I don't mean to condescend to women's football, but the jump up to Dundalk is obviously a bigger step, but managing on your own at the women's national league, how was that?
Yeah, you just look. It's apples and oranges, but it's still fruit. It's the same. The game is quicker. You know, you have to be thinking a bit sharper. Like, you know, you have to be a better referee out there because the ball moves faster and people are screaming at you if you give a bad decision. Look, when you're managing on your own, the responsibility is on your shoulders. You know, but again, I would have looked for a lot of support off Ciarán throughout the course of the season. So. I think just it was a great learning curve. It was the same thing. Bowes was a club ingrained in the community. So just picked up a lot and learned a lot while I was there. You know. So.
And just like your time at Bowes, I suppose you're with Kieran at loan, and then you go and you're the main man at Bowes, and you're kind of back to the dynamic duo again. How is that for you?
Yeah, it's fine. It's like, as I said to you, Alan Murphy played here. The girls had 2 managers. The lads have a manager and an assistant manager, but you're thinking what's best for the team all the time, and you know, ultimately the gaffer will make a decision and we'll go with it, but he'll look for people's thoughts, and you know, so it's perfect. Like, you know, it'll be really good. Yeah, it will be. And sorry, just to all the ladies in the room, the first match of the season is on Valentine's Day, so he'll be getting nothing. A lot of the lads will be at the match.
You've obviously gone back to Athlone and managed to nab a few players. Was it hard to entice them players to sort of come up the road to Dundalk?
No, I think the players that were out on the pitch there that we've signed, they know what standards the gaffer's going to bring, and they know they're going to improve. And look, we've selected the players carefully, and we've selected them for a reason. No, so short and sweet.
Yeah. I think like getting on to the selection of players, and you have to be very careful. Always with budgets and things. It's because it's first division, and we understand as fans that although it's going to be an exciting season, you got to get things right off the gate. But how big of a job, or how big of a, I suppose, would it be a motivation to be the setup, the staff, the players that get Dundalk, fighting at the high end of the table, or even promoted straight at the end of the first goal?
Look, of course, that's the end goal. We will be taking it one game at a time, like Sarah said. What I will say is, just to touch on the players that come in, the young lads from the town out there tonight were unbelievable. Like, very, very, very good. Really aggressive, really good on the ball, excellent passes of the ball, just brilliant energy off them, brilliant attitude. You could see what it meant for them to be in that group tonight, and they wanted to stay in the group, which was really, really positive to see. Like, it wasn't like, I'm just here to make up the numbers. Like, you know. So
Do you think that gives, you know, the incentive for the young lads that there will be opportunities here? The fact that, you know, we've gone from being professional outfit and now we've dropped into the first division. No offence, but does that open doors for you players coming through? Do you think we've obviously, I don't know if you've seen young TJ Malloy played at the end of the year. He was the youngest player to. You've obviously done your homework on all the players, but like does that open the doors for them? Does that give them an extra incentive?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was, you know, I've seen the boys playing for the academy here. I've gone to the international events. If you're at a match, I'll be there. I was at two of Luke Mulligan's school games recently, playing for Ulster, and you could see he was a born leader on the pitch, you know. So, and that's what he is, you know. And if you give him a bit of instruction, he's eyeballing you, and he wants to know, and then he goes and does what you've asked him to do, like so. Yeah, it's a brilliant opportunity. You're seeing how well Sean done, and you know Mayo last season and stuff when they're given an opportunity. I worked with Sean before, knew what he was about. We backed him 3 years ago, I back him now again. But there's more in them, there's more in all the boys. The players that we've signed, there's way more in them as well, so we'll do our best to get it out of them.
He was talking about the atmosphere and that the fans bring here. How much are you looking forward to yourself for sampling that in the home dugout and having all those fans behind you?
Yeah, look, it's really exciting. You can see I'm a bit overwhelmed by the amount of people in the room here. Like it's phenomenal, really. I've listened to that song El Paso, I think, every day since I don't know why, but you're looking at it and you have people like, you know, I know the people we've mentioned here, like Bornsey, you know, getting to know him properly, Jerry Spain, unbelievable person, like everybody needs a Jerry Spain in their life, big time, like, you know, and already the knowledge he's imparted on me and Bornsey's imparted on me and the passion, it's brilliant to have such a fan base, like, you know. You could see it right to the end of the season last year. It was actually quite phenomenal, really. It was really was like.
Yeah, just finally to touch on, you've obviously said a big crowd here, but the fans, how much of a role are they going to play for next season?
Yeah, huge, because that's, you know, the players will hear everything, they'll feel it. They want to impress you, they want to work hard, and they want to do the right thing on the pitch, you know. And as I said, maybe when we weren't getting draws last year, you get the draw, and then you weren't getting the win, you get the win, you know. So.
Look, once again, I don't want to take up too much of your time after a long night over in the training complex. I think just on behalf of all the fans here, a very warm welcome, first and foremost to Oriel Park and to Dundalk Football Club. Ladies and gentlemen, Ken Kiernan. Kieran, just before you come up, we might just take a quick 5-minute break, go grab a drink, come back, and then we'll have Kieran in after. Is that okay? Okay, everybody, welcome back to the second half of the show, and that means we're here with our main guest for tonight. So please welcome, a big welcome back to Oriel Park to Ciarán Kilduff. That must be nice. Yeah. Flick it up. There we go.
Now?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I suppose first and foremost, how are you settling back into life here in Oriel?
It's great, honestly. You know, from where we've come from, even in the first day I was here, you know, license issues, etc., and to be on the pitch tonight, that was unofficial, by the way, just in case anyone asks, we weren't on the pitch tonight. We the lads in a bit early, just to, you know, we want to hit the ground running on the 2nd of January, so yeah, look, where we came from, we're going to use probably that, what you've been through over the last couple of months and even years to 2 years. We have to tap into that now. We need to use it as a club. I think we've already used it for recruitment purposes, and yeah, listen, it's the rising from the ashes kind of thing now for us as well. And yeah, I genuinely texted my wife today when I was driving up, and I said, I'm the manager of Dundalk, and it was now and again, and sometimes me and Ken do that. My other wife. Can you believe we are where we are? Like it's funny to how we've met in this way, but it's a great feeling. It's a very proud moment for me every day, and we'll give it everything. And we're already working as hard as we can, and we'll continue to do so because it's as the lads have alluded to already. Like look at the turnout here tonight. It's your club. We're just here to give it our all and be part of it.
And we obviously, Aodh was on there with Ken mentioned, the kind of young players and, the kind of ideas you have for next year, but you've obviously made 5 big signings over the last couple of weeks. How are you happy with how they've settled in? Are you happy with the progression of what they will add to your team for next season?
Massively, yeah. Listen, we're very lucky here because we're still Dundalk. That brings a lot, the support. The lads know when they're coming here that they're going to play in front of passionate fans. They know the memories and recent history of the club. It helps with recruitment. The lads that are coming in aren't looking at this, they're looking at this as an opportunity, and we all are. And yeah, listen, the 5 lads were there tonight, as Ken alluded to, the young lads, sticking around, and it's funny on A's the first player I sat down with when I took the job. We met the day after I took it. He just wanted to stay, and my biggest thing for ye, and if I was to do this job properly, was to make sure that the people that would be here next year are the ones that wanted to be here. That was my stipulation. It was, if you want to be here, that's the starting block. I didn't want to have to convince someone to stay. I didn't want to, same with staff and everything else. It was, you need to be here for the right reasons. And maybe, it's no disrespect, but I didn't, maybe previous things didn't have that feeling to me where people realised where they were, but I can guarantee you they do now. And that's the plan. That's been my approach to it. So the 5 lads coming in, to answer your question, they know exactly where they are. And because of the size of the club and because of what I'm able to sell them, it's not financial. Well, it is financial, but there is also the big selling point, the unique selling point is the opportunity to play for Dundalk.
It was obviously announced before the 5 signings that Darryl Hogan was going to be the captain for the season. How did you come around to that? What characteristics did you see in Darryl that made you promote him to be club captain?
Played 20 times for Ireland, was a good start. Listen, I played with Darryl for years. He's a great character. He's ingrained down in the community as well with his family. And listen, Darryl, people go on about my goals, I played with Darryl and he was a joy to play with, but he wasn't just that. He was a great man and he was a great leader, and he leads by example. His professionalism, I think how he is around the young lads. I've obviously said Aodh come in as the vice captain, and between the two of them, it's a wealth of experience. They've won the divisions. They've played hundreds of games between them, and as I said, Darryl was an obvious choice at this stage of his career, and he was ready to step up. It was that simple for me, knowing him as a man and a player. He was the obvious choice.
Ciarán, can I just ask, I suppose, I worked with you a few times on LOI TV last year, but from afar looking in at Dundalk last year, I mean, how hard was that watching what was happening to the club and everything that happened, with the relegation, but coming right to the brink and stuff like that? Like, that's unbelievable.
It's scary. I had my best playing days here and my best achievements here and my moments that people remember, and you never thought it would get to that. I was coming up and I remember getting a good reception going across to the gantry to do the commentary on the game, and I suppose just what does probably, not even say irk me somewhat, is that I know the financial issues happened at the end of the year, which kind of made the whole year, but there was a first part of the season where, in my opinion, and that was around the time that you were talking about when I was doing commentary, where there was no financial worries, there was no change in owner, you couldn't foresee, and it had been a poor start to the season. I think they've had a lot of games at the start of the season, and it's not putting anyone on or off the hook. It just felt that at that time when I was coming, I couldn't see it coming, but performance wise, Dundalk unfortunately spent the majority of the season bottom of the table. It didn't just happen at the last hurdle. Not that you could see that coming, but standards wise, football wise, was still a little bit off it last year the whole way through, and then obviously it was accumulated with a couple of weeks to go, where 5 o'clock deadline / relegation. it's not an easy rebuild. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot that's happened that needs time to reset, and it's a fresh start. And it was hard to watch. It was hard. Listen, I didn't know when the deadline day was here that I'd be the next manager. I was watching as a supporter and a fan. I hope everyone's all right there. And I was managing the team and alone, and you're hearing all sorts. And will someone come in or won't someone come in? But the fact that we have football in Oriel next year, the fact that I get to lead it, the staff I have, the players I have, I think that's not going to be lost on anyone this year, and I don't think it should be lost on you either, because we're very lucky to be. It was scary, like it was. I had to educate myself before I took it, to make sure you're taking a job that didn't have a license yet, and there was still a lot of work to be done. But I think I referred to it as a leap of faith, and it was. But thankfully, to the lads and the girls in the office, and that they got it over the line, they pulled it off, and I don't. Listen, with the fixtures tomorrow, but that first home game here. For us, for everyone, I know the result matters, but I think it should be a real emotional night, because we're still alive, and I'm really looking forward to that more than anything. I know the football has to be played, and we'll look after that, but for you, I need that to be a special night. That's a huge night for me in my career. It's going to be probably the proudest one for me. It just knowing what we went through, knowing that I get the responsibility to take it on from there. I can't wait for that.
That leads me perfectly onto the question. Whereas even the Dundalk supporters have someone like yourself in the dugout for whenever the whole first home game is, and for you to say it, for us to listen, that'll be their proudest moment. But if you can look back even at your playing career, like you just said with Darrell Hogan and the likes, under Stephen Kenny, you've had unbelievable success, and everybody in the room probably has a Ciarán Kilduff moment. But if you could pick one for yourself as a Dundalk player, obviously you want to make many more next year as manager, but as a player, if you had to pick out one standing moment, what would it be in the Dundalk FC jersey?
No, look, I think those of us who were in Alkmaar know. No, listen, that was a great period for me around that time. I broke my back that season here, and it was funny. Leading into Alkmaar, I had broken my back here in a League Cup game against Pats, and then we led on to Alkmaar, and I was still on recovery, and Dave Mackett, obviously, who's a great friend of mine, was on the form of his life. So I was coming back from a back injury, and you're waiting for that opportunity for a long time, and my daughter had only been born as well, and there I was in a back brace for a few weeks, and all because of football, and you're thinking, what's it all about? And that moment in Alkmaar for me, Stephen, I remember meeting him in the bathroom beforehand. He actually said it to me. He was like, "Would it be written if you had your moment tonight?" And I've been waiting for one for so long, kind of going, it'll come. And I'd actually scored. I had an absolute nightmare at the UCD Bowl the week before, and I scored the winner, and we won 1-0. And it was one of them winners where you kind of didn't get any emotion, you just got relief, kind of going, I was that bad, the goal is going to, everyone will forgive me. But I was on my way back, and to get that goal in Alkmaar for the first European point, and hundreds behind the goals, that was just amazing. And I'd been rooming with Robbie Benson before it, and listen, we sound like geeks now, but I'd be into visualisation and stuff like that. I was like, I'd love to score into that goal in front of our fans. And little did I know it'd be down to 10 men, and Veghorst was marking me, and it was all of those things. But it was just an amazing moment that I just remember the vindication. I rang my dad after the game, they were watching it at home, and it was just a sweet moment, because I got a bad injury and it was scary for a while, and to come out the other side of it and have that moment like I couldn't have dreamt, it justified a lot of commitment and sacrifice, and it allowed me finally feel like I'd played my role in that journey. Up to that, it had been the Dave Macmillan show, and I'm obviously a striker going, I want my bloody moment here. I got all the goals in the group, he just got us there. But no, look at it was just, that was a special time in the club's history. And then obviously 2 weeks later, scoring the winner against Tel Aviv for the first win at home. That was an amazing 2 weeks for me. It was literally the highlights of my career. They're better than any medals. I know I've won leagues here, and I've won leagues at Rovers and stuff, but yeah, no one will take those moments away from me.
Sure, after giving us goosebumps there. So, just to circle back, obviously, you know, we had stints in Minute, was it, and then you went on to Athlone. What sort of experiences are you going to take from Athlone to bring into this job?
Yeah, look, I'd actually got offered 2-3 men's jobs previous to taking that job in the first division, but I tend to not jump at any job. I want to do my homework on it, and I waited for the right opportunity. I saw the Athlone, I suppose it was on the back of the Women's World Cup, where it was like women's football was booming, and I said, here's an opportunity, and straight away I got Ken in with me, and we won the FAI Cup, and then all of a sudden it was like, not that it was easy, but I was like, well, we've had a bit of short-term success here, and it was like, right, I'll go with it again, and we win the league last year and qualify for the Champions League, and I just learned so much about the day-to-days of a football club more than anything. I will, one thing that has to be said about the women's game is there's a purity to it and an honesty about it. There's no currency of money really in it. They're playing for opportunity to play at the highest level, and I like that about it. It's probably what we're trying to bring here, in that you're playing for, like what Aodh said, you're playing for a crest, you're playing for a club. If you're here for money, right now we're a first division team, do you know what I mean? We have to cut our cloth to measure, but what we do offer is an unbelievable football club, and I bring that from the women's side because I felt, as I said, it wasn't polluted, the women's league, yet with money and contracts and finances. It was girls wanting an environment, girls wanting standards, girls wanting to push themselves to be the best players they could be, and that's literally what we just did tonight out there. It's, you know, no one's out there with their contracts in their pockets. These are hope not anyway, but no, listen, we're trying to strip it back to basics. We're trying to get back to, you know, playing football because you want to play football. Football should never be a chore as well, to come in to train, and then I don't want to ever have to convince someone to come in here, do you know what I mean, or to play football. It's just not our style of doing things. It's football's the best thing in the world. You realise that when you retire, and you find your way back. So now listen, football, yeah, I learned a lot from it now, and it's more, as I said, the off the pitch, the environment stuff than it is anything else.
I'd probably just say, what we might do is we might open the floor at some stage. Gally, if you're alright, go around with the mic in a wee bit. We all know you as a player and stuff like that, but maybe not that many of us would know you as the manager. Like, what? Obviously, you worked under some really influential managers. What sort of managerial style do you think you have? Are you going to be the quiet one in the dugout and Ken's yelling, or he's tag teaming on this one?
Listen, I'm very intense. I'm all in. I'm in control of my emotions, but I hate shortcuts, and I hate cheating, and I hate timekeeping. They're my things. It's the small things that matter, and that's my style. I'm just very much, if we're doing it right. Sometimes it's over the top, sometimes people get fed up with me, some people, but I won't stop. I'll just drive it like that, and that's why the people I want in the building are people who feel and think like that. I get angry, of course, and referees and everything else that goes with it will feel the full brunt, but I tend to keep my emotions in check. I don't want the lads to ever feel at times though when things are looking, I want them to be able to look over and see some bit of calm on the bench, do you know what I mean? I don't want it to be a thing where it's all high emotion all the time. I don't think it's sustainable, but look, if we're giving everything and we're trying our best, we're doing it the right way, and we're playing the way we want to play, and we're fit and we're hungry and we're honest, and that's probably the word we said since day one. It was getting honest people in the building. That was what it was, and I'm very honest. Even my time here, you all remember the great things. We also had some bad nights, and I had some bad games and stuff, but it's funny when you look back, you only remember the good ones. But I always gave my best, and I always tried my best, and so did that team, and so will this team, and that's what I'll bring. It will be an honest group, on and off the pitch, and what I've learned from the managers I've worked with, good and bad, and sometimes I learned more from the poor experience I had. Everyone goes, oh, well, you played with Stephen Kenny here and you had him at Rovers and all. he was brilliant, of course. Someone I still speak to, mainly because I signed his son. But it was like he's someone that I learned a lot of. But I also learned a lot from other managers that maybe made mistakes that I didn't like. Okay, going, I don't want to do that, and then you blend it into your own style. So, look, you'll get an honest group, and I think once you have an honest group, you've got a fighting chance.
Not to jump back to last season too much, but on what we mentioned many times in podcasts, as other podcasts did in media, we had a serious lack of scoring goals last year, an issue in front of goals with our strikers. Not to any fault of their own, I suppose, just the way the season went for them. You've obviously signed Ebby and a Ruby. Is that something, with that those players coming in mind, are you hoping to kind of unlock something with them that could fire us, get those goals for us that we're going to badly need to climb that table?
Massively. Look at I've never minded strikers missing chances. I'd be more worried if you weren't getting chances. They miss some chances. They always feel more when you're down the bottom end of the table and you're not getting many. The beauty of playing in the teams I was playing with was I had Darryl Horgan, Patrick McElhenney, and all of these great players creating chances on a conveyor belt. You found one or two are going to go in off you eventually, and the reality is this year probably I don't think we created. Yes, we missed chances, but you're always going to miss chances. I just think creating is a big thing as a team. You score as a team. Like if those who don't remember, I mean, how many goals did Brian Gardner score over the years? We were chipping in with, I think the year in 2016, and someone can check it out, I think we had maybe 5-6 players in double figures. Like there wasn't just one person. I think Dave had 18, I had 13, Finner, I think a few years previously Richie Taylor had about 50, and it was like, the goals were coming from everywhere. Do you know what I mean? So the reality of it is you score, and as a team, I didn't look at that personally going, listen, don't get me wrong, I signed Dean Ebbe and Ruby because I know what they can do, but I also have full faith in the lads that are staying, Noam Kenny, etc. If they can get them over the line, listen, we'll score as a team now. It's not down to one or two individuals, but of course the lads coming in they're going to hopefully give us the firepower.
I know we are just still in the early stages of building the squad, and you've already mentioned you're going to take it game by game, but I suppose we have to ask you, is promotion the main target for you this season? What way are you going to approach it?
Listen, of course we're going to try. Of course it has to be the goal. I mean, if you don't try and do it, you're not going to do it. So do I guarantee it? No. I think the one thing I can tell you is there's no easy way out of this league. I went to it, I got Shelburne out of it in one of my last years playing, and they've been stuck in it for 6 years, and that's only 5 years ago now. And you look at them now, this league is unforgiving. It's not free flowing. It's Coves away, Kerry's away, Harps away. There's a lot of geographical travel now. We're a brand new. We've hit the reset. You know what I mean? We're gonna. I'm probably after saying, and it's been hard. There's probably somewhere between 14 to 18 players leaving. Then young lads staying, and the other lads I want to hold on to staying, and new lads coming in. So we're a brand new entity too, and of course we all want to say straight back up, and you'll be shouting at me if I don't. So the reality of it is we're going to try. I think we can do it, and I don't think we'll be far away. I think if we get a little bit of luck along the way as well, I don't think we'll be far away. But it guarantees you nothing. I mean, there's been huge clubs like ourselves who've been in this division. Funnily, when I was first breaking into Shamrock Rovers, they were a first division team as well back in my debut years, and obviously, as I said, Shelburne are in it. We're just in it now, so we just got to roll our sleeves up and get ourselves out of it as quick as we can.
You've flirted once or twice there with a couple of signings. We had a plethora only 2 weeks ago. Is there more signings coming in the door? Can we expect very soon?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're allowed to name anything.
No, listen, I won't be naming it because they're never done till they're all done. But look at we've some more exciting signings coming. Yeah, I have to nail down some existing players as well that are very close to being done as well. But look at, we're kind of in a different market now as well. We're not competing, unfortunately, with Shamrock Rovers and St. Pat's right now in terms of budget and even league status. We're a first division team, so we're in a slightly different market, and of course there's players that have gone on that you would have liked to have stayed. You understand it too from a player's point of view. I'm not too far away from that, but there will be some more happening hopefully in the coming days. Yeah.
gives us some sort of optimism at least. We might open this to the floor, lads. Gally, do you want to jump out? Is there any questions for Kieran? Just put your hand up so Andrew can make his way over to you. Anybody, anything? If not, I can ask him about Alkmaar again. Alright, Alkmaar again it is. Right, talk us through this. We're down to 10 men. The clock's going against us. There's a free kick. Did you fancy you were going to get in the midst of this? Surely Gartz is kind of going, this is mine.
Gartz says, I'm getting marked from Veghorst, who's 6'8", and Gartz literally says to me, take him out of the box there, we don't need him in here. And I'm like, no, listen, we're centre forward, with a minute left, will you let me in the bloody box? But look, I know Gartz, listen, there was method to the madness. We had spoke about him as an aerial threat, but listen, when you're down to 10 men and the way that game was going, and 90th minute, I wasn't leaving the box. So it was one of them. It was a great ball from Darrell as always, and you just got to be heading it. The rest was history. I remember a few people had said to me, did I over celebrate? Because I went through about 6 celebrations. I genuinely mean it, if I could, I'd still be there celebrating. It was the best feeling I've ever had in my life. It was sheer emotion, just it was a sweet moment.
And where you talked about the McCabe goal then after, like, did it both rate equally for you, or because they're different, there's different scenarios going on, you're away, you're technically at home on another one, and to go get it.
Tel Aviv was my 28th birthday, and my whole family were there, bar my sister who couldn't get a ticket and was trying to watch it out the gate, the gate beside the car park. She couldn't get in, and that was probably, listen, you forget how good it was. Like, we were selling out Tala. We were, we played the third round of the Champions League qualifier in the Aviva, 30,000 odd, and that was just such a special time. And to score that winner, again, I know I always talk family, but I remember talking to my dad after going, how do you top that? And he goes, oh, you scored a winner in the next one. And I'm like, yeah. Don't be greedy, and to do it in the manner that we did, and we were brilliant that night. We were well worthy of our wins, and they had Ben Ayim and Yossi Benayoun and all of these top players playing, and to play like we did on the night, win like we did, and deserve it. I think Massey had a chance shortly after. It could have been even 2-0. But that was a great night as well. Selling out Tala, and 4 points out of 6. We finished on 4 points though, unfortunately. But look, it was great. It was a brilliant time.
But even playing Zenit home and away, like that's at that time they were really one of the big elites of European football.
Yeah, listen, it was amazing. We were 1 up again, and I remember I've often alluded to it in a few interviews. I think the in-running table, we'd 7 points from 9, 1 up against them after picking up 4, top of the group, and I think we lost 2-1 in the end with 20 minutes to go. But what a special time! It's weird because then you come and you take the job. And I'm now going back thinking about those memories because that was still the same club. It feels like a different club, and it's where we talk about it now, like it's something else. But it's not. You know what I mean? Like, that's when I'm talking to players, or when I was taking the job, or when I want to motivate that group. This is Dundalk. That are all part of our history, and I took a lot of strength from the fact, and I know I don't want to simplify this somewhat, but I think taking the job knowing that there was uncertainty, I knew with 121 or 122 years of history behind it, it wasn't going anywhere. I knew we had to find a way. There was too much water under that bridge for it to go, this would blow back in my face. It was like so much had happened before that I knew. Clubs have gone before, but this one wasn't. They couldn't. And thankfully, and it was a bit of blind fate, but as I said, we're still alive and ready to go again for next year. And I'm hoping, and it's not, I suppose Ken has often used this phrase, but regardless of what, I like to think that as long as my tenure's here, I'll leave it in a better place than I found it. And that's the plan. I'd like to think it's those nights again, or league titles in Europe and all of that, but if I can walk away from here in 2 years, 10 years, 3 months, I like to think it's in a better place than when I found it, and that's a pledge, and that's all I'm going to try and do. And how high and how good we'll find out soon.
As one last thing, I suppose, what is your ask as the manager to us as fans for next season?
Do what you've always done and be honest. We're going to try and replicate it for you. I'm the best man for this job because I know what you are, and I like to think you know what I am by now. I don't think there'll be anything left behind. I think from a coaching point of view, from a staff, from our players, we're going to try and give it everything and give us everything and support us. It's not going to be perfect. How could it be? But we're going to try. And can we get up and win? Of course we can. Are we guaranteed? No. Are we going to try? 100%. And from you, just that opening night, let's use that as a yardstick. We get the fixtures tomorrow. I don't know about you, but I can't wait. Kerry away or Harps away. The club said, Lee said we can stay over for the night as well. And live. No, listen, we'll get those fixtures tomorrow, and then we'll plot our route out here. That's the plan of action, and just give us everything, and we'll try and do the same. That is it. It's simplified approach a little bit. Of course, the tactics and all of that will come out, but let's all get in the same boat and just try and drive ourselves on and stick with us when it's tough, and we'll take the criticism when it's due. And there's nothing like that. I'm not asking for any favours, but look at you tonight. Look at you at the last game of the season after going down. Look at you in Alkmaar. It's the same faces, all right. So let's just go again, all right, and we'll get one big push. And I know I'm building up that opening game as something that it might be nothing. It might be the most glamorous fixture that we've ever gotten or something like that. But that first home game, football and Oriel, will set the standard there as a group and as a squad and as a fan base, and we'll keep it at that for the rest of the year. That's all I ask, and stick with us and we'll stick with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dundalk FC manager Ciarán Kilduff.